Hello, dear Turkish Spotlight Secrets family, and welcome back to your trusted corner of the internet, where the sparkle of celebrity life reveals the emotions that rarely reach the spotlight. Today we bring you a story of quiet courage and unexpected rebirth, the kind that turns headlines into heartbeats. Before we get swept into this journey, remember that your support keeps this channel alive. Subscribe, tap the bell so you never miss a moment, and show your love with a like. If you want to step even closer and fuel our deep dive investigations, the join button is right there with special perks for true Turkish Spotlight Secrets insiders. Ready to hear what really matters? Let's begin. For months, Sinem Ünsal moved through the gaze of the public like a silhouette behind glass, observed from every angle and yet never fully seen. Every pause, every glance, even her silences became puzzles for fans and critics. But the admired actress has finally chosen clarity over mystery. In a candid conversation that felt less like a press stop and more like a late-night confession, she opened up about Ozan Akbaba, a man who, she admits, has shaped not only her career choices but the emotional rhythm of her daily life. With words that rang like a bell in a silent hall, she revealed that his presence brought her back to a version of herself she feared had slipped away. Sinem, one of the most talked-about talents of recent years, confessed that she had been bottling up storms for a long time. The chase from set to set, the relentless shoots, the back-to-back projects, they had drained her until even joy felt like another task on the schedule. She explained that she had started to lose the outline of who she truly was, living in a blur of applause and expectations. Then came Ozan. Not as a rescuer, but as a steady hand. He didn't flood her world with noise. He added color to a palette that had faded to gray. In her words, he reminded her how to breathe in a room filled with cameras. This wasn't a simple proclamation of romance. Sinem stressed that what binds them goes beyond red carpets and curated photos. Together, they have nurtured a partnership secured by mutual comprehension, unhurried patience, and a kind of loyalty that reveals itself in the quietest moments. Some people walk beside you without asking for attention, she shared softly, and somehow their company brings back all the pieces you thought you'd misplaced. Ozan became that steady companion for me. With that, social media lit up. Her fans, accustomed to her strength, found themselves moved by her tenderness, and the conversation surged across platforms. The trend wasn't drama, it was recognition. It's a powerful reminder, Turkish Spotlight Secrets family. Even the brightest stars can get lost in the light they reflect. Sinem's words invite us to think about what it means to be seen, really seen, by someone who doesn't need a spotlight to recognize you. Tell us in the comments which Turkish figure you believe is holding a story this quietly profound. If you value thoughtful, respectful storytelling in a world where noise often drowns out truth, consider tapping the join button. Your direct support lets us keep doing the work you come here for. Sinem also acknowledged that during the peak of her professional whirlwind, she felt suffocated by the unspoken rule to always appear invincible. The world expected her to be unshakable, on set and off. But as she put it, there are days when all a person wants is permission to pause. It was in that fragile space that Ozan stepped in with a kind of generosity that asked for nothing in return. He created room for her to rest, to set down the armor, and to stop apologizing for vulnerability. She said it plainly, with him, she didn't need to wear the mask of strength every second. That revelation, so simple and yet so rare, humanized her more than any role ever could. She went on to say that this relationship fuels both her personal life and her artistry. Their happiest hours aren't spent chasing the noise, they happen in the hush between plans, in long walks without an agenda, in the soft ritual of morning coffee. We don't need a crowd, Sinem reflected. We've learned to share the quiet. Authenticity and deep empathy, she emphasized, form the foundation upon which they built their bond, and those values seep into everything, from how they navigate the day to how they approach their craft. The response from fans was immediate and overwhelmingly supportive. Many congratulated her for speaking with honesty and grace, and praised the harmony that seems to emanate from the couple. Gossip columns have begun to tilt toward admiration rather than speculation, recognizing the gravity of what she revealed. And the line at the heart of it, that he helped her return to herself, landed not as a headline but as a message many had needed. Love, when it functions as a mirror rather than a mask, can restore the parts we forget to protect. But the revelations didn't stop there. Sinem described how, as their connection deepened, she found the courage to face the parts of herself that success often buries, the doubts, the imperfections, the old stories she'd avoided rewriting. Ozan, she said, became her ally in that fragile work, the one who didn't flinch as she examined the cracks. With him, her flaws weren't verdicts, they were truths she could finally accept. That sense of radical acceptance, of being fully welcomed as she is, has changed the way she moves through the world. It's not that the pace of her life slowed, filming schedules still demand, but the pressure no longer defines her. Of course, living under a magnifying glass brings its own challenges. She admitted that the churn of rumor and the hum of speculation can be exhausting. Yet the two of them made a conscious choice not to answer every whisper. Their pact, as she described it, is to protect what they'd built by refusing to feed the noise. Paradoxically, that quiet stance has made their foundation stronger. Mutual trust acts like a shield, and patience, once a luxury, has become a deliberate practice. With Ozan, Sinem said she feels simpler and truer. She finds herself prioritizing what brings peace, rediscovering the worth of unremarkable minutes that, together, become a life. The urgency to rush has softened into the grace of presence. She speaks of learning patience not as waiting, but as a way of loving, a willingness to be here, fully, for the person beside you. She emphasized that her definition of success has evolved. Professional achievements still matter, but they no longer require the sacrifice of her inner calm. Her confession opened a window into her private universe, and through it, fans saw a woman who has carried uncertainty and now recognizes the sweetness of solid ground. She insisted that the stumbles and detours of her past make the present more luminous. Standing beside Ozan, she said, doesn't erase who she was, it honors the journey that brought her here. The relationship isn't a fairy tale. It's a choice they make repeatedly, a balance of care and candor, an exchange of patience and empathy that reshapes both of them. Naturally, her words sparked conversation, and yes, some doubted the sincerity of any romance lived under the flash of cameras. But the most enthusiastic response came from younger fans who saw in her not only a beloved actress but an example of someone daring to live her truth without apology. Their messages, drenched in gratitude, celebrated a woman who set aside the armor and stood as herself. Continuing her thoughts, Sinem explained that the difficulties she has endured have, paradoxically, magnified the value of her current joy. Every relationship teaches, she reflected, but with the right person, learning becomes a shared adventure. She talked about the delicate art of balancing her career with her personal life, a choreography she manages more gracefully with Ozan nearby. Together, they complement each other in ways that feel, as she put it with a shy smile, almost uncanny. She doesn't swallow her feelings anymore, she names them. She brings her mistakes into the light, trusting that honesty will make the bond sturdier, not shakier. This through line of sincerity wove itself through every sentence she offered. It's not performative, it's practiced. And perhaps that is the real headline. A love story that grows in the everyday, both ordinary and extraordinary, built by two people who choose kindness even when the world wants spectacle. Their quiet becomes their statement. And so, Turkish Spotlight Secrets family, we close this chapter in our ongoing conversation with Sinem Ünsal's heart laid open and her gratitude to Ozan Akbaba echoing in the background. It's moving to witness how care and loyalty can guide someone back to center. What do you think about her confession? Is Ozan the piece that made the whole picture clear, or did he simply hold up the mirror at the right time? Share every thought in the comments, you know we read them all. Don't forget to press like and subscribe for more stories told with empathy and curiosity. And if you want to keep this space thriving, the join button is your way to stand with us as we bring you the truth behind the glamour. Until next time, stay close. We'll be here with more exclusive journeys from the stars you love, only on Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Before we go, a final reflection lingers on the edge of this story, something worth carrying into your own day. We often celebrate the grand gestures, the bouquets and premieres, the daring declarations and the staged surprises. But the tale Sinem shared points to a different kind of power. It's found in the evening when the phones are face down and the door is closed, in a hand that doesn't tremble when you're unsure of your lines, in the quiet goodnights that don't need to be documented to matter. The remarkable thing about what she described is not its rarity but how rarely we speak about it. Perhaps that's why her words felt so startling, they gave shape to something many have felt but struggled to name. She didn't pretend the future will be tidy. Careers evolve, scripts change, opportunities appear at inconvenient hours, and the world still asks for versions of us we haven't figured out how to be. Yet she returns to the image of a shared table, a simple breakfast before the day accelerates, a calm exchange that anchors everything else. That is where she finds direction. If you've ever drifted, you know the relief of a lighthouse. It doesn't silence the ocean, it helps you steer. Ozan, to her, is not the shore but the light. Steady, honest, consistent. And with that light, she learned to navigate again. We'll keep watching, not the rumors, but the reality they are building in the spaces that remain wonderfully ordinary. When the next chapter unfolds, you'll hear it here first, told the way it deserves to be told. Thank you for staying with us, for supporting the kind of storytelling that guards dignity while celebrating truth. Subscribe, ring the bell, like this video, and if your heart is with ours, hit join to become part of the inner circle that keeps Turkish spotlight secrets shining. See you in the next video, where the headlines step aside and the human story takes the lead.